Jelly Roll never ran away from a fight. His journey from going to jail as a teen to becoming one of the biggest rising stars in country music has been anything but normal. His wife Bunny XO has been with him for a lot of it. She is strong, loud, and very loving. They have talked about their past, their pain, and how they have grown together. In talks, podcasts, and on social media, they often share the most honest parts of their lives with the public. Then though, something did change. A post showed up, a video played, and then the smiles went away. Bunny fought back tears, and her Jelly Roll was less outgoing than usual. As a joke, they brought up something very important that had shocked them, a diagnosis. But who did it, and how bad was it? The couple has always been strong. What on earth could have brought them to this place? With a rough start, he became a country music star. Jared DeFord, better known as Jelly Roll, was born and raised in the Tennessee neighborhood of Antioch. He had a hard time. The Southern rap stars 36 Mafia and UGK, on the other hand, helped Jelly Roll fall in love with hip-hop. He started to sell mixtapes from the trunk of his car. His early work includes the Plain Schmear Tape and Gambling on the White Boy, a collection of mixtapes. His 2010 song, Pop Another Pill, with Lil White has been viewed over 6 million times on YouTube. That drive is what made the ES No Hip Hop group and year-round record possible. He kept putting out mixtapes and worked with artists like Struggle Jennings, Haystack, and Technen 9N. In 2013, he put out a mixtape that was originally called Whiskey, Weed, and Waffle House, but the restaurant threatened to sue him if he didn't change the name. He gave it a new name, Whiskey, Weed, and Women. Instead of the Waffle House sign, he put a "Cease and Desist" sticker on the cover. Over time, Jelly Roll turned into country and rock songs. Then, in 2021, he made his start at the famous Grand Ole Opry. Then, in 2022, his hit song, Dead Man Walking, went to #1 on rock radio. In the fall of that year, he put out his first country song, Son of a Sinner. It became his first #1 on country radio in 2023. Ernest and David Ray Stevens and he wrote the song together. It made it to the hot rock and alternative charts on Billboard. In 2022, he played to 15,000 people at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena, which was sold out. In 2023, he shared the stage with big names like Chris Young and Tekken 9. He got 3 CMT Music Awards, including Male Video of the Year, and his Backroad Baptism tour went to 44 cities. In June 2023, he put out his 9th record, Whitsett Chapel. In October 2024, he put out Beautifully Broken. He has even tried acting, as seen in his roles on Tulsa King with Sylvester Stallone. It was 2024, and Jelly Roll was a guest on Saturday Night Live. He sang songs from his upcoming record and a Johnny Cash medley with The Roots and Snoop Dogg. He worked with Eminem on the single, Somebody Save Me, and put out a song called Run It for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 album. In 2025, he worked on a rough version of Hard Fought Hallelujah with Christian artist Brandon Lake. Even though a wedding group called Jelly Roll sued him out of his name, the case was settled in the end. In his life, Jelly Roll has been through a lot. He has been in jail, been on the biggest stages in music, and been hurt. Early problems with the law. Jelly Roll's life didn't start out very well. His father sold meat and arranged bets, and his mother, who gave him the nickname Jelly, had a mental illness and was addicted to drugs. From the time he was a child, Jelly Roll thought that drug selling and addiction were normal. During an emotional interview with CBS News, he said, "I knew my dad took bets and my mom had too many drugs. So, this is what you did to me." He never gave up music, even when he was a teen selling drugs. In a clear voice, he remembered those times. "Hey, here's a bag of weed, a gram of coke, and a mixtape. Get what I mean? I also rap. It looked like my business card. Getting drugs was always a way for me to make songs." He went to jail for the first time when he was 14 years old and would be arrested about 40 times over the next 10 years. He was charged with drug possession, shoplifting, and aggravated theft. When he was 16, he was charged with the worst crime. He was charged as an adult with aggravated robbery with a firearm over weed when he was in jail. Hearing about it again with Billboard, he said, "I never want to forget that it was a horrible crime." This is an adult looking back at a 16-year-old kid who made the worst choice he could have made in life. People could have been hurt, but thank God no one was. He was given an 8-year sentence, but he only spent a little more than a year in jail. Still, that felony marked him, and Tennessee law says he can't vote or do some other things. Think about how you could change your life to afford the kind of house I was looking at in this neighborhood. He told Billboard, "My money was welcome, but not me because of something I did almost 24 years ago." When Jelly Roll got out of jail in 2008, he found out he had a daughter named Bailey Ann. He met her when she was 2 years old and now raises her along with his wife Bunny and their other son, Noah. In 2022, Jelly Roll gave more than $200,000 to the juvenile center where he had lived before to build a music studio for the kids who had been in trouble. Back in 2024, he went to the U.S. Senate and said, "I was part of the problem." Personal life: Jelly Roll has been married to Alyssa DeFord, also known as Bunny XO, since 2016. They have a strong relationship and even renewed their wedding vows in 2023 to honor their journey together. Jelly Roll also has a son and a daughter from previous relationships. He and Bunny share full custody of his daughter, who is very important to him in both his personal and professional life. When Jelly Roll was 39, his 14-year-old daughter told him she wanted to be baptized. At first, he wasn't sure I would believe her. He thought, "I should go see what kind of cult she's going to, because that's how I felt about church at the time." But what happened changed him. He went to the service and was shocked by what he saw. "I was reminded of how sincere people can be in those walls, too." He said, "Seeing her and all of her friends there reminded me of the humanity, compassion, forgiveness, love, and community more than anything else." That experience renewed his faith. He knows he won't always look or act like a typical Christian, but his faith is real and strong. "A little different from other people, I might dress it, and I might say some things that other Christians don't think are right," he said. "But in the end, I have a heart for God and a heart for Jesus." In 2024, Jelly Roll helped other people with his words and stories from his past. He spoke in favor of Senator Tim Scott's Fentanyl Eradication and Narcotics Deterrence, Fend Off Fentanyl Act in front of the U.S. Senate. Because he had a hard past, he didn't hold back. "There was something wrong with me. So I'm here today as a man who wants to help," he told the group. "I sucked up my neighborhood. I hurt people." The guy who couldn't read or write was in the kitchen trying out drugs he didn't know much about. The same thing that these drug sellers do now when they mix all the drugs they can find with fentanyl to kill the people we love. With his family, his music, and his message, Jelly Roll is determined to heal, help, and make a difference today. How to deal with drug abuse and getting sober. Jelly Roll isn't trying to hide his past. He's using it to light the way ahead. The country music star talked about his fight with addiction in an open and honest interview. He admitted that he used to think drinking was the only way to get better after cocaine binges. There was a time in his life when he used crack cocaine, went to jail, and did things he didn't recognize as habits. "I had to learn how to drink all over again without doing drugs," he told People. Jelly Roll, who is now 39 years old, may not say he is completely sober, but he has found a fragile balance. He says that weed helps him deal with his nervousness and keeps him away from harder drugs. He told Taste of Country, "Marijuana has kept me sober. Without it, I'd be back to cocaine, Xanax, and codeine." He never went to rehab, but he goes to meetings when he needs to and goes out of his way to honor people who are fully recovered. Most of all, he's committed to being there for his kids, in Congress, and at abuse treatment centers. Everything changed when his daughter Bailey was born. "It was like Saul becoming Paul," he said about his spiritual rebirth while he was in prison. With a CMA award and the fight against the fentanyl epidemic under his belt, Jelly Roll is turning tragedy into purpose. I was one of the people who helped with it, he told the Senate. Satanism accusations. In 2023, Jelly Roll was the subject of some pretty crazy rumors. He had just performed Ozzy Osbourne's "Mama I'm Coming Home" at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction, and some people on social media said he was a Satanist because of his tattoos, appearance, and the setting of the performance. He chose to take a break from social media for a while because of the accusations. "I doubled down like a real thing, dumbass," I told him. He later admitted it on the Pat McAfee show. "I'm leaving X, you guys are mean to me," wasn't the way they talked to him. Jelly Roll, who was never shy about his faith, felt angry and hurt. He said, "Man, y'all don't know me if you think I'd even," he said, clearly angry. He later went back to social media, but admitted how bad things had gotten, especially on X, formerly Twitter. "This place is different, man." He wrote in a post, "I always heard it was the Wild West on here, but man, it's crazy. It's a safe place for everyone to be mean to each other with no consequences. I'm out, LOL." He also called X the worst negative app ever. But when Jelly Roll made a strong statement about his religion, the rumors stopped. "Satan runs away from the name I speak." He asked his enemy, "Do you get what I mean? That's all I have to say. I only say one name, and Satan leaves. Nobody touching my butt or the Illuminati doesn't bother me." Jelly Roll stayed true to who he is and what he thinks, even though there was a lot of noise online. It's clear that he knows the accusations were false and hurtful, but he chose not to let them define him. He's now slowly getting back into social media. "I'm back on socials. Well, I'm getting back," he said on the Pat McAfee show, showing that he's still being careful but won't let negativity stop him. Jelly Roll isn't afraid to say what he thinks, and he's not letting the internet have its way with him. In April 2024, country music star Jelly Roll was sued by a wedding band from Pennsylvania, also named Jelly Roll, saying that using the singer's name made it confusing for their business. People were thinking their wedding band was the famous musician, which cost them business and engagements. This case brings up an important issue in the entertainment industry: trademark rights. A trademark is a name, logo, or symbol used for a brand. It protects companies by making sure people don't mix them up with other companies that have similar names. The wedding band thought that Jelly Roll's rise to fame through his hit songs was making it harder for them to stand out and get bookings. Both sides are right, but the case does bring up an interesting question. Jelly Roll's real name is Jason DeFord, but he has been performing as Jelly Roll for many years, long before he became famous in country music. On the other hand, the wedding band that has been playing for years also wants to protect their reputation and brand name. These kinds of trademark disputes are common in the entertainment business. Many artists, bands, and companies have had similar problems with name ownership and rights. Usually, it takes lawyers to figure out who should use the name in a certain industry or territory. Depending on how the courts rule, this lawsuit could hurt Jelly Roll's career for a long time. It also shows how important it is for artists and businesses to protect their names and trademarks early on to avoid problems in the future. The case is still going on, so we'll have to wait and see how it ends. Having trouble touring internationally. The Tennessee Board of Parole asked Governor Bill Lee to pardon country music star Jelly Roll. Roll had been honest about his criminal past and wanted a clean slate so he could travel more easily and spread his message of hope and redemption. "This was amazing," Roll said after the board's decision. "If this doesn't happen, today was still important to me because it was the board's suggestion." Governor Lee still had to sign off on it, but it was a big step forward. The hearing lasted almost 2 hours and had a lot of people speaking out for him, including Nashville Sheriff Darren Hall. One board member didn't vote, but everyone else did. Despite his past, Jelly Roll has changed his life. He told the board that he discovered songwriting while he was in jail. "It started as a hobby that felt therapeutic and ended up changing my life in ways I never thought possible and opening doors I never thought were possible," he said. He became famous in country music with hits like "Need a Favor" and "Whitset Chapel." He won many awards and was nominated for 4 Grammys. Now, Jelly Roll wanted to perform in places like Canada, but his record made it hard for him to get there. By law, it takes a team of lawyers and a mountain of paperwork to get me into those countries, he said. Additionally, he said, God willing, I'll still be using this same pardon to go do missionary work in my 50s and 60s. Governor Lee answered, the coverage of Jelly Roll, that's hopeful for his case, but there are actions yet to occur in that situation. Jelly Roll didn't just want to go on tour. He said, I want to be an inspiration for people who are now where I was once to let them know that change is possible. Emotional moments on stage. During his headlining set at the CMA Festival, Jelly Roll brought a lot of feelings to the stage. The audience saw a real side of the country star in him as he talked about the hard road that got him to where he is now. He told the crowd how far he had come by talking about his past problems with drug abuse and time spent in jail. Standing under the bright lights in front of thousands of cheering fans, Jelly Roll got emotional and reminded everyone that success isn't easy, especially if you've had a rough start. One of the most moving parts of the night was when Jelly Roll dedicated his heartfelt song, Son of a Sinner, to anyone who is stuck between doing good and doing bad in life. He said the song was for people like them, and many people in the crowd felt deeply moved by it. He also told them not to give up, no matter how many mistakes they've made. His message was clear, believe in your ability to change and succeed, even if you failed in the past. Most of the people in the crowd were moved to tears by what he sang and said. Jelly Roll has long been admired for being honest about where he came from, a rough part of town, drug addiction, and time in prison. Now he's using his pain to give someone else a chance. This show wasn't about the music, it was about hope and second chances. Jelly Roll taught everyone that if you believe in yourself and fight for it, anything can change. That night, it felt like it wasn't just a song. It was a letter to everyone who has been having a hard time and has wanted to give up. When his performance was over, the whole stadium clapped for his voice, his honesty, and his heart. Jelly Roll didn't perform, he gave away his soul, his advocacy, and his charity. In 2024, he did something brave by testifying before the U.S. Senate. He spoke out in favor of anti-fentanyl legislation and used his own life to show how dangerous and deadly drug use can be. It was moving and impactful, and he didn't try to hide his mistakes. Fentanyl, a synthetic opioid, has been linked to thousands of overdose deaths across the country. Jelly Roll knows what it's like because he's been through addiction and the justice system himself. But now, he's doing everything he can to make sure others don't fall into the same trap. That's not all, he also paid for the opening of a music studio inside the Davidson County Juvenile Detention Center in Nashville, the same place he was locked up as a teenager. It's personal for him. He wants troubled teens to have the chance to change their lives like he did. The studio's goal is to give kids a creative outlet and a reason to be there. It's a place where they can learn, be themselves, and dream of a better future. By putting music first, Jelly Roll teaches them that their voices matter and that it's never too late to make a difference. Helper, guide, and supporter, this side of Jelly Roll shows how much he wants to lift others. He's not just singing about redemption and pain, he's living it and showing others how to do the same. Through his work in government and the community, Jelly Roll shows that real change starts with heart, honesty, and a little hope. There has been a big change in the health of country music artist Jelly Roll. He has lost almost 200 pounds since December 2022, going from weighing 540 pounds to 357 pounds. His next goal is to lose another 100 pounds to reach 250 pounds. This change isn't just about numbers on a scale, it's about taking back his life and inspiring other people. Every day, 4 to 6 days a week, Jelly Roll walks 2 to 3 miles, spends 20 to 30 minutes in the sauna, and takes a 6-minute cold plunge. These exercises have made a huge difference in his health. He has also made some impressive changes to his diet. With the help of nutrition coach Ian Larios, he eats a high-protein diet that includes dishes like a Waffle House-style breakfast bowl and dairy-free protein poutine. They are meant to be filling and healthy so he can enjoy comfort foods while staying on track. In addition to physical health, Jelly Roll stresses the importance of mental and emotional health. He talks openly about his food addiction and compares it to other serious addictions. He does this because he hopes it will help other people who are going through the same problems. One reason he keeps going with this quest is to skydive with his wife Bunny XO in Sweden, which requires him to meet certain weight requirements. This personal goal gives him a concrete way to reach his ongoing quest. Jelly Roll's transformation shows how dedicated and persistent he is. By putting health first and sharing his story, he not only improves his own life, but he also inspires many others. Who is Bunny XO? Her full name is Bunny DeFord, and she's much more than the wife of country music star Jelly Roll. She's also a popular podcast host, social media influencer, and strong voice for women who want to own their past and live in the present with confidence. Bunny has won over listeners' hearts with her fearless attitude, raw authenticity, and huge heart. Bunny didn't have an easy childhood or life in general. She got through it by learning how to do things on her own. She's talked about her past in public, including how she became the woman she is today as an exotic dancer, and how those experiences shaped her. Instead of hiding her path, she uses it to inspire others. Her most famous work is her podcast, The Dumb Blonde Podcast. In it, she interviews artists, social media stars, regular people, and guests from all over the world in an open and honest way. She doesn't mind asking tough questions or getting emotional, which is what makes the podcast so popular. It's been said that Bunny started the show so that people could have a voice, especially those who've been judged because of their past. Her relationship with Jelly Roll is one of the best on the internet. They got married in 2016 and have been there for each other through all of life's ups and downs. Bunny helped raise Jelly Roll's daughter, Bailey Ann, and she loves being a bonus mom. In interviews and posts, Jelly Roll often says that Bunny helped him turn his life around, and their love for each other is clear. In 2024, Bunny talked about a close call with her health and the diagnosis that changed everything. In August 2024, Bunny XO had one of the scariest moments of her life. She had been having headaches for a long time and decided to get an MRI just in case. What the doctors found was horrifying. They thought she might have a possible aneurysm on her coronary artery. This hit home for Bunny because her mother had a similar condition and it almost killed her. When she showed him the scans, he told her that what looked like an aneurysm was actually a normal vessel. "This was just one of those times when I get to give good news," he said. "If you want to go play tackle football, you can." Even though it was scary, the whole thing opened Bunny's eyes. She talked about how it brought her family closer together and helped her understand what's most important in life. "Family and the people that you love," she said in a sincere moment. "I snuggled up." Fans were quick to show their love and devotion. They posted messages of support and prayers on social media. She was brave to tell the whole story, which made other people who were going through health scares feel less alone. It also reminded everyone how quickly things can change and why we should never take them for granted. Thanks for watching. If you liked this journey and want to stay up to date on all the latest news, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your help. We look forward to telling you more exciting stories in the future.